Hey and welcome to Neverwinter with Aragon. So we just had a new update with a whole load of details, and they've gone and released a bunch of new fashion capes with some new Zen market sales. So let's go through everything you need to know. Looking at the patch notes, they've definitely made a very nice, clearer overview. The change to the Divine Aegis enchantment is now implemented. They have increased its effect from what it was on the previous server at 0.5% per stack to now 1% per stack. So you'll be able to get a 20% of your hit points in a shield from this. And they fixed up a bunch of powers so they will now properly apply the stacks. They are aware that there are still some other abilities that will not apply the stacks, with Soul Siphon being intended not to apply them. It will now properly work in the Shackles of Divinity trial. So yes, there's no question, this is the best combat enchantment to use as a healer in the game. If you are new, it comes from the Adventures in Wild Space campaign store right here. You will just need to get a bit of campaign currency and you can buy it. Alternatively, off the auction house, you can even make some Astral Diamonds by selling them, but under 2 million Astral Diamonds is a good deal for a mythic enchantment. They've then gone and rebalanced and kind of fixed these boots. There are two versions coming from the new Shackles of Divinity trial. These ones from Master, and they give you power, crit strike, crit severity, up to a maximum of 5% of each. This is a bit of a nerf. It used to be 7%, but they've also changed the trigger condition to now just be 15% of your max health, so it'll be a little bit easier to maintain these stacks across all classes. Honestly, the nerf is kind of warranted, as it will now give 15% total stats instead of 21%, which was a little bit overboard. And the ones from the advanced version will now just give 3% of those stats each, which is still a reasonable 9% total stats on your boots. Moving on, be aware that the Battle Pass, the third phase, will soon begin, and they're making a little bit of a change. This is to improve the rewards. The last part will now give one of the new bags with 84 slots, with the Astral Lockbox rewards being combined. Overall pretty decent, and they will be adding compensation for players, I guess, who didn't get it when they used the buyout, but this will be available July the 20th. Then we have the new capes. These have been added to the Zen store. In the keys section, you have to buy the Phantasmal Resurgent lockboxes. Those are basically like the Magnificent Resurgent lockboxes, but now drop those new capes and still have the chance to get that Turbo 3000 mount. Unfortunately though, that does not result in them updating the older Magnificent Resurgent lockbox if you were hoarding those. However, they drop the new illusions, whereas these now drop the new capes. You can see in this blog post a preview of what those capes look like, but we have seen similar versions introduced to the game in the past. This being the Cloak of Light, and then this being the Cloak of Darkness. It's unfortunate we can't see the drop rates, and I'm not sure I want to spend 2000 Zen on them right now. You can of course get a 20% discount through invocation bags. But additionally, they finally fixed the Hag's Enchanted Cauldron. It should work properly. I just tested it yesterday and it does. And the Night Flame sensor will no longer infinite stack. You can no longer have multiple of them to gain the benefit multiple times. Additionally, it's now 12% instead of 12.5%. This simply encourages diversity in group setups, as you want each person to use a different one. Again, for those artifact calls. The Thay weekly quests now display they give 25 instead of 10. A few weeks ago, I believe they updated them to actually give 25, which is nice. As for items and economy, the rewards reclaim agent. They fixed a bug. You can claim this title, and they added a new tab called Divine Favor, which is intended for use at a later time. Currently, I can't see it, so I'm not sure what's up with that. Maybe if you visit the NPC. They adjusted these rings, so they will now show in your buff bar, a visual fix to Celestial Armor, and the Adventures in Wild Space campaign, the campaign buyout, will now award marks of notoriety. They will look into compensating people, I guess, who have used this before the change. Additionally, a quick update that they added here, very nice for them to add this, is the fact that they've gone and fixed multiple of the neck pieces to properly show your appearance. I believe a notorious example of this was like with the detector set, but I can now attest it successfully shows my cape. And you can see you will indeed be able to purchase the new capes off the auction house from other players, but yes, a steep price because the drop rate's pretty low. But it also means you will be able to visually inspect them. You can see all the different colors. Once again, special thank you to the support of my channel members. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next one. Goodbye for now.